Peace family, Conjurequeen here. And in this segment, I gotta talk about something that's been on my mind for a minute, you guys. And I'm gonna bring up this topic because I think that I'm seeing a pattern that's happening on these relationship podcasts, these dating podcasts, like all of these shows and media, reality TV, songs. Guys, we're live right now, so feel free to comment, but have y'all noticed that there seems to be some type of an agenda to purposefully keep men and women fighting? There's this like perpetual problem or theme on social media everywhere I go in my timeline. Like I'm either seeing men on a podcast talking about how bad women are, then you got the women on a podcast talking about the dudes, how they bad and ain't no good men out here. And so I'm like, yo, who is stirring the pot? Like, I like to look at sources, go back to where this person got their information, because when did all of this stuff start happening? What happened to the good old days when, people wasn't afraid to show that they was in love? People wrote love letters and people was like open about their feelings, professing how they feel for somebody. Like, love and relationships used to be a beautiful thing. Like, everybody wanted to be in one. Now it's just like, yo, nobody want to be in a relationship. Nobody wants to show their feelings. People are afraid. People been hurt. People are just, it's so much pain. First of all, let me talk about the whole hypergamy movement. And I'm going to be very, very transparent here, right? So I found out about this like hypergamy movement probably like back in 2017 when a lot of the girls was doing these YouTube videos and like they had these Facebook groups talking about like leveling up and hypergamy, how to be more feminine and how to attract more wealthy men. And at first, I'm like, okay, this movement seems pretty good. Like it felt like it was about woman empowerment. It was about teaching women how to level up their confidence and how to take better care of themselves, like spiritually, mentally, especially physically. Like I feel like that movement did help me to level up myself in many ways. But then I started noticing like there was some toxic traits there. I have nothing against hypergamy. Now for those people that's wondering what is hypergamy is basically nature's design. People say that women like to pick a partner that makes them feel secure. They like to be with the alpha or somebody who makes them feel safe. Biologically speaking, they say that beings are able to reproduce when their cells or their body feels as though it's in a comfortable place to reproduce. But when we're under stress and we're under worry and the environment isn't suitable for mating or producing an offspring, then we will repel, we will stay away from making babies. The reason I'm bringing this up is because they basically use that saying about hypergamy that women naturally gravitate to men who are more successful, men who are able to provide a certain lifestyle. And they say that women who deal with men who are like working class or men who make women go 50-50, that they call these guys dusties and that you need to stay away from them because they'll waste your time, they'll make you build them up only to waste your years and leave you for a younger girl. Now, some of that may be true because some of the stories are true. Like I've been with somebody before and I felt like, I wasted some years of my life because I saw potential in this person and I wanted to build them up. And then as soon as the person got to where they wanted to be, it was just kind of like they forgot about who really helped them pull all of those strings together. And that hurts. And I think that these groups that pull people together, it's more so coming from a place of like hurt and pain and anger towards the opposite sex, or maybe in relationships. Maybe they was in an abusive or toxic relationship and, I think energy attracts each other. So if a person is starting a group and they're starting this group from a hurt place, like, I don't trust people, I wasted my years with men, so I'm going to create this big ass group of women that are going to understand my pain. We could talk about it together and we can start like dating different type of men with money, right? And bash all the other type of guys. Then on the other side of the dating pool, you got the red pill movement, okay? The red pill movement is these guys that they call themselves, I think, intel or men going their own way or something like that. But anyway, it's a group of men that's kind of like feminists for men. You know how feminists are known to like not like men, to bash men, right? Like, not saying all feminists are like that, but that's the stereotype. Now, on the other side of the dating pool, right, or the battle of the sexes, is the men who have the red pill movement. And out of curiosity, like, I checked this out. I remember I had a homeboy who told me about that. And, you know, you could tell he was that whole pro red pill movement. Now, the red pill movement has nothing to do with the Matrix, opening up your mind. That's what I thought it was about. The red pill movement, men going their own way, is pretty much a group of men who've been hurt by women. They call them simps. Like, you know, they say, oh, you know, I'm a retired simp. I used to do this and this for women. I got my heart hurt by a woman. I gave her my all and she used me. She left me for a richer dude. This is why I don't want women. This is why we shouldn't invest in women. You know, this is why we should make women go 50-50. We shouldn't really pay X amount of money on a first date. So now you have the red pill movement, which is like the opposite of the hypergamy movement, of men who are bashing women, men who have been hurt by women, men who just conglomerate together and share their sob stories, just like the women are doing in the hypergamy movement. Because I was part of the hypergamy movement, and then I, out of curiosity, wanted to see what the other side of the coin looked like. And I put both of them together, and I'm like, yo, both of these groups are toxic as fuck. Like, it's toxic as fuck. And I had to go through my journey to kind of understand these dating coaches and podcasts. Like, they teach you about, okay, like, how to get in the game. Sometimes when you're not used to dating for a while, it could kind of be like double dutch. I don't know if you guys ever played double dutch before, but it's like you gotta kind of find your rhythm and when to jump in. And once you get in, it's just kind of like smooth sailing after that. But I feel like with these dating coaches and stuff, like, because these are hurt people who are attracting more hurt people, their message is gonna kind of be hurt. You feel me? Like, I don't know what you guys think, because I just noticed just this pattern. These people are hurt. They give you dating advice, but they don't teach you about relationships, like how to make a healthy relationship keep going. They just tell you, like, you know, how to dress, how to walk, how to look, how to talk, games and stuff you can play. It's like, okay, once you get in a relationship with a person, like if you've been playing games and doing all of these dating hacks and stuff and manipulating them, then how are you going to sustain that? You're basically creating a persona to attract the person. Once you got this person, this is why people end up falling out of love, or, you know, fall out of lust, really. Because were you really in love with this person, or were you really falling in love with their persona or their representative? Like, everybody has a representative that they put to the forefront when they first dated. People's masks don't really come off and probably until like 3 months into the relationship or getting to know them, because unless they're really, really, really good, some people can even hide it longer than that. There was a movie about that, a Tyler Perry movie. What was it? A Fall from Grace? Have you guys seen that movie? Yo, that's a perfect example of a person who's very patient, who keeps a mask on just to get what they want. Like, homie was scamming her the whole time. Him and his mama. Sorry, hope I didn't spoil it for you guys, but it's been out for a minute, so if you ain't see it, then that's on you. Go and check it out. But I think that it's just people that are hurt, that are trying to capitalize off of this. Like, when it comes to media, what sells is drama. This is why the news now they don't even cover like real news coverage. American news, if you look at American news versus other news around the world, American news is really centered around celebrity gossip. How is that really benefiting anybody's life right now? The stuff that we need to know, they don't want to talk about. Everything is more so about like selling sex or selling drama or, you know, division, divide and conquer. I don't know if you guys ever heard of the WILLY Lynch letter. Some people are saying that it was fake and made up. Some people are saying that it's real. That's really irrelevant. Pretty much the WILLY Lynch letter was talking about how some slave master guy wrote this letter saying that he put a curse, the WILLY Lynch curse, on people, saying like, oh, you know, in certain amount of years time, I curse these people, you know, men will fight against women and the young will fight against the old and the light will fight against the dark. And it was like pretty much what the elite are doing to keep the population, the masses divided, is exactly what that letter said. Whether it was made up or not, it doesn't matter. It's actually true. What's happening now is that when you start to really sit back and observe, instead of always being in the mix, when you step out of that mixy little circle, you start to see everything in a clearer perspective. And I feel like the entire population is under some type of freaking like mind control or sleep spell or something that's just like making them consistently fight, because that's the energy that sells. Like, people watch these reality fight shows with fights and stuff because of drama. People like conspiracies and arguments and debates on relationships because people like drama. Like, I don't understand why it is that, you know, we're attracted to this toxicity. I just put up a post on Instagram talking about that. Like, is this, you know, a girl was basically talking about like side chicks is normalized now. Like, people are learning to accept that a married man should have a side chick. They're saying that men are not designed to be with one woman at a time. I'm not saying I agree, disagree. Like, however you want to live your life is how you live your life. I always tell people that, like, your life is not my life, do you, boo? But I'm just really trying to understand, like, why is American dating culture, like, why do we worship toxicity? What is it about that? Like, I just put up a video or about the guy who went crazy because his ex-girlfriend didn't want to open the door, so he broke the door down and started making all of these wild noises. And the first thing people said was, oh, she must have some good cat. Like, oh, her stuff might be really good if he acting like this. And I'm like, if her kitty cat is making boy act like that, like, yo, is her kitty really good, or is that shit toxic, my nigga? Because why? Why is homie acting like that? And what the hell you got in your coochie that's making this nigga wild the fuck out? Why do we synchronize, like, you know, good sex with toxicity? Like, why is that? Like, there's a saying that says, like, you know, really good sex can keep a bad relationship going, and bad sex can ruin a good relationship. Like, what? I'm just really trying to understand something, family, right? Like, looking from the hypergamy side. If you're a part of that whole hypergamy movement, I hope that you're tuning in and watching this. Because the way that I am is I don't agree with either side. Like, I like to be neutral. I always play devil's advocate. Blame my Venus Gemini, okay? I like to play devil's advocate. I like to see both sides of the coin. I like to weigh out my options and use my own conclusion. So this is why I always welcome mental sparring, as long as it's done with respect. Who's to say who's right and who's wrong, right? Like, men may have valid reasons for feeling certain ways about women. Maybe they did go through some hurtful experiences that made them dislike women. The same with women. Maybe some things happened to them. Maybe they got touched when they were younger. Maybe their first love broke their heart. Maybe they got cheated on. I don't know. But people, this trauma, it stays inside of you. And I feel like, especially in the melanated community, mental health is something that we don't really like to talk about. Like, it's a taboo thing. And, you know, if somebody is really having mental episodes, like, family don't really sit down and try to get them help. Because the first thing, if a melanated person be like, listen, you know, I feel like I'm losing it, or if somebody suggests therapy to them, they going to attack you. They're going to be like, therapy? What? Like, I'm not crazy. I don't need to go to a loony bin. Like, I'm fine. And I'm like, yo, just because people who get therapy are not crazy. There's nothing wrong with getting therapy. There's nothing wrong with talking to someone about your problem. Especially the Black community. Like, I really feel like, and I'm not saying other communities don't experience this, because I don't really know. I can only speak on my experience and my community and people that I know, which is majority melanated people. And I noticed that, like, there's a pattern where the person who has mental health issues in a family, like, they kind of either get shunned, or nobody really likes to talk about that relative. There's just kind of like that hush hush type of thing. And even when the person is crying out for help, like, nobody takes them serious. Like, oh girl, you just going through your mood swings, you got your period, oh, you'll be fine, you know, next week. Like, they kind of brush it off. And I don't know if that's a trauma response, because maybe we've been conditioned to suppress how we really feel in order to be hard, in order to be tough, especially like Black women. A lot of Black women, because of the way the system was set up, a lot of melanated men kind of got pushed into prisons, and the whole government system created welfare that made Black women start to rely on the government to take care of them, thus pushing the Black man out of the family. So I want people to understand the history behind why the system is the way that it is. Now, I'm not playing victim here, saying, like, you know, Black people are behind because of racism and suppression. I'm not pulling that card. What I'm basically saying is that history tends to repeat itself. Like, if you don't know your history, you are doomed to repeat it. So you have to understand why we are in the current situation that we're in, and why is it that there were more single family households with Black women being the main head, and women are naturally known to be in that feminine energy. But when a woman has to step into her masculine masculine because a masculine figure is not there, it kind of confuses and throws off the balance of the household. You feel me? The yin yang energy is not there. And so when you have a child kind of growing up, not having a certain father figure there, it starts to program this psychological feeling that makes it feel like it's normal, it's natural. And now you have these hurt children that's coming from this generation of single parent households, okay, poverty and stuff. And now they're grown now, and now they're looking for love, but they don't really know what love is because they've never had a really good example to see it. Even in the media, think about it. Did we really have a lot of, you know, positive examples? Well, maybe in the 90s and the 80s. Like before that, we had good examples of, like, you know, healthy love. But a lot of those movies was geared towards more like, you know, ghetto romantic movies and stuff like that. It was a lot of more stereotypical movies back then. I think there's more positive images now of melanated people that doesn't involve like the ghetto or the projects or that stereotype, right? But y'all good. I think, you know, we got to really look at that, because that's why a lot of women step into that masculine role, and they have masculine mothers, masculine grandmothers, masculine aunties, and, you know, they've probably never seen what it looked like to see a soft woman, or a woman in her feminine energy, or a man that's in his masculine energy. And if these men are being raised by women and they don't have a masculine figure to kind of show them stability and structure, things that masculine energy brings, the provider, the giver, right? If he's not receiving that, if that young man is not receiving that energy, then there's a lack. And then he grows up being raised by a woman trying to teach him how to be a man. And I think this can possibly be why some men are effeminate and more women are masculine. And there's this gender complexity and sex war. I feel like we really have to unpack. And the only way that we're going to really heal and get through this is if we have discussions about it, and not disrespectful discussions, not where ego is on the table. Like, we really got to take our ego off the table, put our cards down and be like, look, this is what I'm going through. This is how we feeling. Like, what's your perspective? How are you feeling? How can we get through this? Because there really is an agenda to depopulate. I really feel that way. I really feel like, come on, like all of this energy pushed at divide, all of this energy pushed at separation, all of this energy pushed at targeting a healthy family household. Why is that? Why do they want us separated so badly? But for all of the spiritualists, all of the activists, all of the conspiracy theorists and the truth seekers and speakers, you know, it's one thing to spread awareness on social media. But when do we start to actually apply this occult knowledge to our practical life, where we can start forming better communities, where we can start forming our own system, our own healthcare system, our own legal system, our own school systems, our own hospitals and stuff? Like, when can we start doing that? Our own businesses. I'm not saying that we're not on our way, but I'm just saying, like, yo, there has to be that point when we're trying to build something now. I'm just really trying to see where this is going. Because communities start with, okay, it starts with an individual, right? There's the one, there's the I, the person, right? Then, you know, you meet somebody, you fall in love with this person, you guys have a connection, that one turns into the two. The two is known to be teamwork, cooperation, balance, duality, right? Give and take. This is numerology we talking about. This is a very old science. Now, after the two, there's the three, which deals with expansion. Now, you two created a family. The mother, the father, the child, the Holy Trinity, the Holy Three, right? Now, you take that 3 number, which deals with expansion and growth, and now the next number is 4. 4 deals with foundations and structures and communities. So once you have yourself together, you do the healing, you go to therapy, you work on yourself, you elevate and transform, go through the dark night of the soul, do your shadow work and your light work, find balance. Then you find your partner who also did the work, worked on themselves, healed through their traumas. And I get it, we always healing, so the journey is never complete, but you're at a certain space where you're able to have a healthy relationship. You meet that other person, you guys decide to multiply, make that 3. Now you have your own intimate family. Now, as a family, you want to mingle with other families who are on the same frequency as you. And then next thing you know, what do you have? A community. So they trying to keep us divided from that. And if we can't even get to the 2 level, we still stuck on individuality and ego and self because our root chakra is so hurt that we're afraid to open up because we've been triggered, we've been hurt. We have childhood traumas stuck there in our root, and our root deals with our foundations. It deals with our ability to trust, to open up, okay? It deals with family. It deals with our very root, our core. So if the root chakra, dealing with sex, dealing with foundations, dealing with traumatic stuff that happened in childhood, all of the stuff that we spoke about earlier in this segment, right? All of that's being stored there. That's why we can't evolve and grow. We can't even get past the first few chakras, the root chakra, the sacral chakra, because we still stuck in ego. And the thing is, we have to get outside of that and have these conversations. They're going to be difficult. They're going to be tough. But if we don't talk about it, then how will this happen? And I'm actually really happy about this whole podcast movement where people are speaking their truth, because now we're starting to see how people really feel. People are hurting. People have pains, and people disguise that, right? They put it into a business and be like, all right, you know what? I'm going to capitalize off my pain because it's a survival mechanism. People are just trying to survive out here. And if you're used to surviving the whole entire time, like your whole life, you've never felt safe. Once again, root chakra, dealing with security. You don't feel safe. So you're always going to be in this survival mood, vibration. And if you're vibrating at that low vibration where I'm struggling, I'm not secure, I need to hustle, I need to do this, I need to do that, I don't know where to go, I'm all over the place. There's no foundation here. There's no sense of family or community here. I don't know who I am, right? If you don't know who you are, then how can you expand? It's so much to unpack. You're going to find yourself being more an individual than trying to be a community. You can't be a community if you're still stuck in that root, in that ego. It's a lot to unpack. It's a lot to unpack. And, you know, I hope I didn't just drop all of that on you guys, but I just been having this on my mind, and I'm just really trying to understand, how can we get past this, right? How can we need, like, honestly, I feel like we need an outlet where we can just sit down and have these talks instead of arguing with each other and yelling at each other over podcasts. Like, let's just sit down and talk about this stuff. I'm really rooting for the family. I'm really rooting for families and community. Like, I am a Cancer sun. Like, I'm all about family, community, love, domestication. Like, yes, I'm for that, okay? And listen, if you're the type of person that just want to be to yourself, I respect that too. I do. I think my issue more so is the agenda being pushed upon people and the younger generation, like invading their subconscious mind through the music, through the media, through reality TV, teaching these young girls and these young guys like what love really is. And the truth of the matter is, that's not real love. I mean, who am I to talk, right? Like, who am I to say what love is? I can only speak from my experience. Everybody's definition of love is different. And our definition of love is always changing. You know, maybe your definition of love 10 years ago is completely different from what it is now, right? Because you evolved, you grow. So much stuff to unpack. You know, we got to do the work. We got to work on ourselves, and we can't save other people. Like, I think as healers, we look to fix people, to help people, and I'm going to tell you right now, like, that's probably the worst thing you can do. That's it. And in return, the plant rewards you with oxygen, right? Without plants, without trees, we would not be able to have oxygen. So in essence, we take care of them, they take care of us. The same with relationships. It shouldn't be one person just giving, or you rushing a person to change and evolve. And even if relationships don't work out right now where you are, like today, you never know. A person can change in the future. People change, people evolve, people grow, you know? But I'm over this divide and conquer. I really want us to unify and come together and become better. In the meantime, all I can say is just keep working on you, family. Keep doing the healing. I think that when we work on ourselves, our vibration shifts the energies of those around us naturally. Osmosis is when two molecules form together and they become symbiotic of each other's energy. They become one. Or they adapt to each other. If you live with a person long enough or be around a person long enough, you start to adapt their habits and their behaviors. So I think that's the same, like, by you vibrating on a higher frequency, you will naturally attract people who are on your frequency, or the people that are around you, they will adapt to your energy, or you might adapt to theirs, either way. But if you're on a higher vibration, which doesn't mean you're better, it just means that you're more evolved, right? You went through more lessons and more understandings, then, you know, the person may end up being more influenced by you because you have more spiritual power, more willpower, more wisdom. I'm gonna put you guys on. We're gonna do this prosperity ritual because, listen, a lot of people have been struggling with money for the past few years because of the pandemic. So we're gonna work with this goddess, and she's about to make sure that all of that money, wealth, and success is coming to all of us in 2023. Don't play with me, okay? We're gonna be winning out here, family. You feel me? And then we can start building our communities, because how are we gonna build a community without funds, right? We need to get our money up. We need to get our money up so we can start putting our money together and building some shit up in here. I'm ready to unify. All right, y'all, can I get some ashes, please? Ashe, ashe, ashe. Okay. We're going to be good, though. I have a good feeling about where the energies are shifting. I feel like we're kind of like at the climax where things kind of get worse before they get better. We're kind of getting over that hill now. And I'm just kind of sitting back observing. And, you know, I think we're all playing our role in this play. Like, life is a big-ass stage. All of us are players, and we all have a significant role in this movie or in this journey. But anyway, I love you guys. I'm going to go and meditate, and hopefully I will see you guys in the ritual. I'm so excited for this. Like, listen, lives are about to be changed, okay? Lives are about to be changed for real. But I love you guys, family, and I will talk to you later. Have a good night. Peace.